Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanius here. Welcome to episode number 35 of this NHL 22 Quebec Nordiques relocation franchise mode where we moved Arizona up north to Quebec City. If you guys have missed episodes up to this point, head up into that top corner. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe, and hit notifications to never miss these uploads. So, before we really get into comments or anything to start off this episode, first off, yes, we got through the draft last episode, but I have some questions for you guys because we're now at episode 35. A lot, and when I say a lot, I mean the majority. I think I've had two series so far, which was Edmonton and the Draft to Glory series in like NHL 20. We haven't had too many series go past the 35 episode mark. So I want to get your guys' input. Is this series starting to get a little stale? What's your opinion on it? And well, let's get into this. So jumping over here to, well, we've got comments, but jumping over to the franchise tracker now. This is my personal franchise tracker. I believe I linked it in episode 1 of this series. I might be wrong. It might be in when we were picking the Minnesota franchise mode, something like that. It's in one of those videos. I'll link the template to this below as well. But at the current moment with this team, we are sitting here looking at, we're 10 seasons in, approximately. We're about to hit season 11 now. We've won 2 Stanley Cups. We've won 4 Calder Cups. We probably could have won a 5th this past year, but we didn't. The team is really good, but our playoff success has kind of been shaky. Like when we go on runs, usually we go on really good runs. We've only been knocked out in round 2 once by Toronto. Apart from that, we usually make it to, if we make it past round 1, we usually make it to the conference finals or the Stanley Cup. But that was also our old team, right? With Chychrun and Wright. Our drafts recently have looked actually pretty good. Players like Tadachek are going to make a huge impact in the upcoming years. Apart from that, of course, Cale Fast. And I'm hoping Raphael Tremblay can be really good players for this team. Of course, we've got Wyman and, like McMuffin and a bunch of really young, good prospects, which you guys have touched on in the comments below as well. But I just want to get your opinion. So let me know in the comments below because I am extremely interested to hear, what do you guys think we should do with this series? Do you want me to keep uploading episodes consistently? Do you want me to maybe instead, like, we're just under halfway through the entire 25-year save at this current point in time. But with that in mind, what do you guys want to see from this series? Do you want to see it consistently uploaded still, like I've kind of been doing? I've been struggling a little with keeping things consistent here with this team, but I want to hear from you guys because honestly, I feel like I want to start a new series, want to get something exciting and new going, but at the same time, I would totally understand if the majority of my viewers want to see this series continued for at least another 5 seasons or so. That would be like 15 more episodes worth, which would get us to 50 episodes, which is a huge series and playlist, and I know some of you guys enjoy going back and binging the entirety of these playlists, and I really appreciate that for the views and support of this channel. But at the same time, we can also kind of compact this series, do like, I don't know, like break up the remainder of this series, because we have 15 episodes left, or 15 seasons left, which is a huge amount. We're under halfway through, but with 15 seasons left, I want to know, do you guys want me to compact those more? Do you want us to continue? Let me know in the comments below. But with that all in mind, let's get back to some comments here and really get back into this episode. So, looking at the comments from last episode, and there seemed to be a pretty consistent theme in the comments. Moose commented, "You need a veteran presence." I think he said veterinarian presence. So I don't think we're going to go get a team vet, but we're going to go get a team veteran. So the other comment came from Nolan Booker, said, "Yeah, that prospect pool is nuts. What a good problem to have. Maybe this upcoming season you will have some time to comb through, or maybe you take some time to comb through and flip weaker prospects for picks or a veteran. For free agency, I agree that a veteran presence would go a long way. I think it would be cool to bring back big name Quebec native or an ex-Hab and lead them and this team if they're in their 30s. Good luck." All right, so that is it for the comments, and well, now we can actually get into kind of dealing with this team. So with this all in mind, our team is looking pretty darn good right now. We've got a really good group of players on our hands. There we go. My monitor wasn't loading for a second. We've got some really young players too. Like our oldest guy, I think is, yeah, it's Thorson, Semen, Banks. Like those kind of guys are the oldest players on this team. You go into the system, again, same thing, like 25, 26-year-olds. And our goalies are all younger than that. So we have a very, very young roster on our hands. But again, like Nolan just said, it's not a bad problem to have. So I think if we are going to go out, this team doesn't have too many needs right now either. That's the thing, is that you look at this group, we've got 3, 4, 5 really solid centers. Our left wing is completely stacked. Our right wing is a little weaker, but we just move left wingers over to the right. Our defense could be better, so maybe we'd look for a defensive presence. That could be something we definitely pursue in the offseason, especially considering that we just traded Ethan Bear too. That would probably be the best move, but it's going to be interesting to see if we can actually get a Quebec native. So with all of that in mind, we got to start signing contracts here. We have $17 million available, which is actually huge. Like, that's so much money to have, but we're looking at 45 out of 50 contracts right now. For $3.5 million, Tim Bodie is absolutely worth re-signing. We're also going to get these other guys such as Holt and Fast and Winquist re-signed. And apologies for my dog just going ballistic in the background. Probably a delivery person here or something like that. But Gabriel Weimer we kept on purpose because, again, I think he's going to make a difference with this team. He is just 22. Darren Thorne, one of those guys that hasn't really panned out as well as I would have liked him to. Same with Ian Crane, of course. I thought for sure Crane was going to be like a shoe-in to make this team, and he just never really made it, even though he has all the X factors and everything. So apart from that, I don't know if we're going to re-sign Pavel Semen, even though he was one of our first draft picks. He's now just a top 6 forward, but I guess we could sign him for 2 more years. Darren Thorne also wants a 2-year contract. Okay, so we have huge depth in this team already. We re-signed Peverly with his crease crasher ability and everything. He's been great in the minors. Vladimir Markov, maybe we re-sign, maybe we don't. Amrit Walker, we probably won't re-sign. Hacken, we might sign. I don't think Dawson Vandenbush is getting a contract offer, though. Same with a guy like Lowe, that just doesn't make sense. But Benjamin Rizzi is absolutely going to be one of the few guys that we actually sign to the team as a new player. Tuzolino as well, we should. And apart from that, nobody else really needs a contract. Like, it's not urgent. So with those in mind, we're going to release Lowe. We're going to release Vandenbush, just because we have so many centers already. So Vandenbush is gone. Markov we should re-sign, and I think I want to sign Mika Hacken here too, wherever he's gone. He's 74 rated, so yeah, we'll get Mika Hacken into the team as well. 10th overall pick. Again, just a really good two-way forward, tape-to-tape ability and that kind of stuff, and yeah, he's going to be good. One other thing I kind of missed here was the goalies, and at 25 years old, I don't think Samuel McFarland is going to stick around with us anymore. As good of a goalie as he is, we have these 2 other young guns in Sean Atkinson and Wyatt Walensky. Again, just 2 really high potential goalies, and I think because of that, we are going to take... maybe we'll try to flip McFarland. That could be a potential option as well, so... Before we really buy McFarland out, it would be one thing if, like, they say, oh, we can't accept this, then we'll buy a guy out. But, yeah, at the current moment, the team's in a good spot, and all we really need, in my opinion and in your guys' opinion, is veteran presence. So I'm going to say on the back end. So maybe we go out and try to reclaim Chychrun or somebody like that. That could be an option. But let's see. We get Cale Fast, Mika Hacken, Ian Crane, Walensky joins, same with Atkinson. Weimer, Semen, Peverly, Bodie, Winquist, Thorne, Markov, Holt, Tuzolino, Rizzi, and all right, I think we got everybody there. So that looks really good. This team is set to go. Ivany, we're going to reject again, just another player that just didn't make it. Just wasn't high enough potential for this team. And with the prospect pool that we have, you can't really blame me for that. So All right. Now that we are set up on that, I think we're good to sim to free agency. We'll get our last couple of scouts and coaches and everybody back in here, but, you know, it's, again, not a problem. We just got to deal with it, be a little patient, and I think the main thing that we're going to do here is... Okay. I think the main people we're going to be throwing on the roster, on the block here, is probably going to be guys like... I want to say Byron Brewer, but I feel like we still have a ton of cap space, so we can literally just go out and try to pursue 2 highly paid veterans for a year or 2. Rizzy supposedly is going back to Sudbury. I don't believe that. I think he's going to be in the minors. God, our minors group is just so good. Like, we have so many players that are borderline NHL level. Potty Kupina, those guys, you know, again, they haven't really turned out to be crazy, but they're still such good players. I'm really excited for Tatacek, too. I think he's going to be the best player that this franchise has ever seen. But, you know, with that all in mind, we do have to actually build a team around him that's going to be good enough to win, because we got eliminated in round 1 this year. That just hurts. So, oh boy, not much of a defensive presence here in free agency, unfortunately. So, not only that, but we don't have a lot of players that are really going to make a huge impact, in my opinion. How's the potential looking in here? Oh, you know, Pacioretty doesn't actually look like that bad a player. Boyer has got no potential. Yeah, that's Kelly Boyer. That's one of our old draft picks. He never turned out. There's a lot of guys in here that seem familiar, even though some of them are undrafted kind of players. It's just not a lot really available, unfortunately. Yeah, you look through here and it's like, Van den Busch, yeah. Holy Rome, he's got X Factors galore. Okay. So, I mean, I think with $15 million, we have to pursue a big name free agent. I think maybe we try a sign and trade potentially, or maybe 2, because goalies don't seem to be in a crazy saturated. It is a crazy saturated market for goalies right now. Like, there are just so many good goaltenders available. Russian prospect. Oh, shit. I hope we didn't lose all of our progress there, but that's, I should have known better than that. No Russian prospects, Ethan, come on, that's bad. So here's the question, has EA purposefully implemented that bug just to dispute the Russia-Ukraine political incident, or is that more so just an actual bug in the game? There's some food for that. Please be an autosave. Please be an autosave. Please be an autosave. Sweet. Okay. I'm going to hold on to that backup file just for now. All right. So, we're in free agency. We're in the right spot. So, I think with $15 million, we are going to attempt to pursue, I want to say, DeBrincat for sure, for $10 million. And then for another 5, I mean, I would like to get a better defenseman. I don't know if we're going to have that option. Caleb Ortmeyer's there, which is funny because I was pretty much certain that he is not going to be there. I'm just wondering, who are our best defensive options? Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of great defensive options at the moment. So, Marner's 34. I don't think we're going to be going for him. DeBrincat, 33. I think we might be pursuing him just because he's going to... Actually, Eklund at 28 is probably going to hold the highest trade value out of anybody. But at the same time, we don't want to pay him for a really long time because that's going to decrease his trade value. What about Tomasino? Tomasino could be a sign and trade piece because I don't think we really need players up front that are going to be extremely expensive like this, but we have those guys, like we have those prospects in place already. So I think if we pay him $9 million for the next 4 years, I think that is still a movable contract, especially for a defenseman, because that is going to be what we're pursuing here over anything else. I want to keep some cap flexibility too, so we're just going to advance. I'm not too worried about signing players in other positions. We'll get Tomasino, and then we're going to go and browse the trade block, because really what I'm looking for is like a top 2 defenseman kind of player. Maybe that's McAvoy. McAvoy's American, isn't he? Yeah, he is. So I don't think McAvoy's exactly the right choice. I think... I don't know who's going to be the right choice here for this team. I mean, hey, maybe we bring Connor Timmins back. That could be a play. But yeah, apart from that, Soderstrom's available too at 30 years old. You know, I wouldn't even mind going and getting guys that we already had on this team. Like, I know we had the whole episode where it was like the getting younger theme, but it's funny how the team stops winning when you trade for younger players. Like, it's an input built into the game, I'm pretty sure, based on the fact that teams just stop performing once they... Werenski would be interesting, though, too. But it feels like it's an input built into the game when teams just stop performing based on the fact that that they're not like they don't have older players on their team. So, let's see. I'm also gonna do some player searching here and just see who the best top 2 kind of defensemen in the league are right now, based on the fact that, you know, we need some better defensemen, top 2 of any kind, preferably. There's only 18 in the league, so with all these top 2s involved, I mean, Romanov's still on Montreal, so we won't pursue him. Evan Bouchard could be interesting, just based on the fact that, you know, he is a Ontario kind of native player, played for the London Knights. You know, he's not exactly Quebec, but like, who else would be? Thomas Chabot, maybe? Steckel, wow. Oof. Oh, Pittsburgh, that is a gorgeous defenseman right there. Yeah, Shannon Steckel turned out to be fantastic. Chychrun's playing for where? Tampa? Yeah, so I don't really see Tampa making that move, but how about a guy like Serge Drouin-Delorier? I know he's not a veteran, but that could be an interesting one. Drysdale, again, in the OHL kind of area, not so much Quebec necessarily. We're not going to get Adam Fox. We're not going to get Brant Clark, likely. These guys are just too highly valued of pieces. But I'm kind of thinking Evan Bouchard. Like, I would love to add a player of his caliber. It says he only fits defensive pairing 3, which is a little bit concerning. But at the same time, he does kind of fit that mold of, like, oh, he's a, you know, French-Canadian player. I don't even know if Bouchard's French necessarily either, though. I think Chabot is, but yeah, just not a ton of options really available for top-end defensemen, which is unfortunate. So, the only other guy I would be interested in pursuing is maybe Cale Makar, based on the fact that he's a 2-year ETA, or 2-year ETA, 2-year remaining on his contract. Bouchard's going to be really expensive. Makar, I think we could put together a package deal for. And even, like, yeah, I mean, we're not going to get Steckel or Delorier or Chychrun. I feel like we could go back and get. I don't know if we really want to. We have a lot of good left defensemen. So that's why I'm feeling Makar or Bouchard. Okay, so yeah, let's try. I'm going to try Cale Makar to start with, but I know it's a huge trade. It's going to be a blockbuster trade. But with that in mind, I would assume that Colorado is kind of on the downtrend, even though they did just sign Marner. how would you like to trade Makar? I mean, they've got other good defensemen. The fact that Makar takes up $10 million when they still have Girard and Byram and who else? Yeah, like Boishar. I'm sure we could give them defensemen that they actually want. But yeah, if we just try Cale Makar, we're going to have to give up some big pieces in return. I don't know exactly who those pieces are going to be either. I mean, preferably I would like to give up a guy that's as expensive as Holden Banks, but I don't see that really happening. I would love to throw Tomasino in there because he's going to be our sign-and-trade piece more than anything. I could see us potentially moving a guy like Brewer, although he is huge and has good X factors. Okay. How good is Colorado's defense? That's the other question I have, is if we really want to kind of buff this team up, they already have a good top end on their defense, but they could probably use a couple more depth defenders for cheap contracts. So with that in mind, I would not mind sending, well, actually, now we want to keep Staubitz, in my opinion. I think we want to keep... Staubitz could be the piece that we move, and then we hold on to a guy like Weimer instead. I wouldn't mind doing that. So if we send them some prospects, so let's say we go Kreider. Not sending Tremblay, he's just too valuable. So if we go Kreider, Staubitz, and... See, I don't really want to trade a top piece out of this group, but at the same time, I know we're going to have to. Maybe we should send him Sheldon Oshie. Along with, of course, Tomasino. So, it's a 3-for-1 deal. We're putting together a big package for Makar, but they're getting 2 young, borderline NHL-ready defensemen, along with a good forward, in exchange for Makar. We might have to throw a pick on here, too, but over a pick, I'd rather just throw an extra defenseman since we have so many. And I think that guy would be Staubitz, to be completely honest. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, that's a 4-for-1 deal. It's a huge trade. If it goes through, which it very well might. If that trade goes through, which I need to get my trade tracker up here for. All right, so we're essentially just beefing up Colorado's defense here and adding a better forward. So I think it's going to make them a scary team, but we're filling a decent gap here with, you know, a player that has some decent playoff experience. He has won a cup, so that's good. And I think that's exactly the trade that we want. So we'll go with Cale Makar here. And trade rejected. All right, so it wasn't quite enough. Let's move Kreider. And in exchange, they don't even want a goalie. That I find interesting. So you're telling me you don't even want a guy that's borderline NHL ready like Earl Bembridge. Come on. You want a goalie like that. That's better value. All right. So does this one go through? It does not. Okay. So with Bembridge on top of that, they really don't want to give up Makar, and it's pretty apparent. But if we throw in our 2032 first, it's a huge package deal, but it still doesn't go through. They're not trading Makar. All right, what are the odds that the Oilers want to let go of Bouchard instead? I'm going to say very low, but you never know. All right, let's try this. Has Edmonton won a cup at least? They also have. Okay, so we're getting players, or we're trying to get players that are experienced. So does it go through? Come on, Edmonton. You're building out your prospect pool here fantastically well for one 31-year-old player. Does it go? It still does not. Wow. All right. So gonna remove Staubitz is probably the... Okay, that's not what I wanted. Let's remove Staubitz, see if we can try... I want to say a guy like Brewer, but you know what? I feel like Brewer almost isn't even going to be highly valued enough either. Well, let's try it. I mean, I don't really want to trade Byron Brewer, but we might have to. You know what? Screw it. Instead of trying to put together these crazy trade packages, I think I'm just going to try to find a trade instead, because at least it kind of gives me an idea of what we have to put together value-wise. Fast and Powell, that's it? Like, come on. Let go and Lander's not happening. Yeah, no. Okay. See, I don't want to let go of Fast. That's the problem. Shoot. Okay, I don't know if we can afford that. The problem is I'm not really willing, like I'm not in this state of mind to trade a bunch of prospects in exchange for a veteran because, you know, that just feels like reverse mentality to me. I don't think we'd find a deal for Bouchard. Yeah, that's so expensive. Fast, Bouwmeester, and Weimer. Ouch. Tamarnez, Bouwmeester, Weimer. Yeah, I don't know if it's really worth one player like that in exchange for two kind of centerpieces, and yeah. All right. Okay, so instead of Fast, because as much as I know they would like a young, really good-looking rookie like that, if we can throw Lucas Powell, who, don't get me wrong, I don't want to let go of him. I think he's a great fit for this team, but if we can take Lucas Powell, 44-point scorer, he's going to do great in Colorado, but if we can go Powell, throw him in there with a guy like Tomasino instead, and then maybe like a pick, or maybe Sheldon Oshie, right? Because they wanted Oshie. Okay, if we can do that, I will take it. All right, does that go through? I think that should go through. I think Powell's valued enough. And trade rejected. Come on, Colorado. You literally just told me that you would pretty much take this deal. So we throw first on there. Of course, it goes through now, but all right, big old blockbuster trades here. That's what we like, and that's what's going to make this team better. All right, so now adding Cale Makar to this top end kind of defensive unit, you look at the group that we have here, and it's good. It is really good. 2, 3, 4. And yeah, Brewer Olofsson as the bottom pairing is, in my opinion, a fantastic group of players. So, all right, I think we are ready to go now. We got our veteran, we got our player that I think is going to make the biggest impact, and yeah, don't trade your players. Whatever, it's a sign and trade. We literally said we were going to do that. So get off my case. How much money do we have available here still? We still have $8 million. So maybe we want to go out and get an extra player here too. I just feel like it's kind of pointless going out and spending this money when we'll probably come across a trade that has us taking on bigger cap space throughout the season. So let's just go to the next season, see how this team's looking, maybe make one more trade from there, and then that's where we'll conclude this episode. All right, so 96% of our tickets sold. This team is set to go. All right, we get some available funds, and all right, what are our goals for this year? Be within the budget, finish first in our conference, 85% fan, concession happiness, and upgrade the club seats. All right, let's see this team. All right, guys, so this is the team for the upcoming season. It's honestly one of the best rosters I think this team has been able to put together. You look at the sheer amount of chemistry that exists within this team, and I'm going to say most of that is credited to the X factors on these players and just that everybody has them. So that's going to really help make the biggest difference here with the chemistry. The team is stacked. That whole second line is all 90-plus rated players. Like, that's pretty scary. You know, maybe it makes more sense to play Banks up top with Bedard and Thoresen, but at the same time, you know, I'm kind of feeling like I don't know. That line's pretty small though if we do that. So maybe we do play Banks up just because he is a first line winger, but I think Tadicek, Silvegaard, and Tamarnez is going to be a great line. Cale Fast is slotted in quite nicely on our third line, and he could very well be a second line two-way forward in no time. just really well-rounded group here. Harry Holt making his NHL debut at 24 years old. He scored very consistently in the minors over the last 4 years, and I think he is going to be fantastic. Again, third-round pick out of Calgary in 2027. It's taken him 4 years to really kind of get going, but that's okay. Our defense is just solid throughout. There's no question in my mind there. All +2s. Again, we don't really need a whole bunch of chemistry with this group based on the fact that they're already very highly rated for their positions. Again, top 4 all the way through, apart from Makar, who's a top 2 role. Goaltending, same as it has been. I am kind of debating on bringing Bembridge up. I want to hear what you guys have to say about that, simply because we have Wyatt Welinski sitting in the minors right now, not playing games, so maybe we end up trading him. The minors look really good too. But apart from that, I'm really impressed with where the team is currently at. If we go and take a peek back at the special teams in the NHL, it is, again, just stacked. +5 chemistry. This whole first power play unit is going to be one to reckon with. Like, it could very well lead the league if they can get things going, right? And that's a whole big old if. But both 4-on-4 power plays look good. The PK looks fantastic, +5 and +3. You're not going to really get much better than that. And then we only have 2 and 0 on the 3-man PKs, but that's what happens when you don't have two-way forward centers, which, is something that maybe we can look at down the line. But at the same time, I do really like having the sniper kind of centers in our lineup. Sniper and playmakers, those guys really do make a big difference down the middle in 5-on-5 kind of scenarios and power plays and things like such. Apart from that, not really going to adjust or touch the extra kind of units here too much. I think I put Tadachek in over Banks, but that was kind of the only thing. Holden Banks, again, Seattle Kraken 4th overall pick. This team is just loaded. So I have a question to leave you guys with that we are going to address next episode, and that is going to be, apart from, of course, how do you want to format the episodes, who is our captain? Who is going to be our captain? Because we've got Thorson, Silvegaard, and Bedard, who I think are all deserving of the C, but at the same time, I would almost argue for Thorson instead, as he has been able to perform fantastically well. Bedard, although he's the franchise player, he's the #1 center kind of guy, even though we picked him 2nd overall. I don't know. I think he's a little bit smaller, like he's 5'11", and although he's got all the skills, everything required to be a fantastic player in this league, I want to hear what you guys have to say. I think Silvegaard's a bit of an underdog just based on the fact that he's like a 4th round pick. He's not really a lottery pick on this team compared to most of these other guys. Like, you look through here, there are very few non-lottery picks. Like Bodie and Thompson makes sense. They developed extremely well. Holt, Silvegaard, that's it. Everybody else is a lottery pick in our forwards. For defense, again, lottery. Like, it's just... yeah, this team is built very strongly off of lottery picks, which I do find kind of funny, but that's okay. Lottery City, baby, right? So anyways, that's where we're going to wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to go down below, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to never miss these uploads. It's probably the fastest I've ever said that, and you got to leave a like just for that. But also make sure to hit that comment box and let me know. Just leave Bedard for C, Thorson for C, or Silvegaard for C in the comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say. But that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Etanio signing out, and until next time.